Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Living Astrology with Janet Hickox. It's time to get your cup of coffee or your tea, to sit back and relax while we chat about what is happening up in the stars above us for Friday, the Friday after Christmas. We're looking at the last weekend of 2024, rolling on into the 2025 arena next week. And yet, I feel like there's so much left undone from this year, don't you? Like, I don't know, did we not get everything accomplished that we wanted to for 2024? Um, is there like a continuation thing that we'll be heading into? I don't know. It seems like more of the same as we go into the next calendar year. This morning, I want to talk about several different things. First of all, on the 30th, which happens to also be the day of the new moon, there is the final USA Pluto return. If you look at it through a precessed lens, we'll talk a little more about what that means in a minute. And we're also having a Venus challenging day, if you will, as Venus is squaring Uranus. So expect maybe some unexpectedness this weekend. And then there's also the new moon occurring on Monday, and it's an interesting new moon because it's kind of out there in nowhere land. It's at 9 degrees 44 minutes of Capricorn. It's not necessarily being impacted by other planets. Yet I just can't help but feel there's something big going on here that day, especially as it is linked to the USA Pluto return, and it is linked to some of the degrees of the astrology chart that are impacted in 2025. So I would, if I were you, if you wanted to, play along and kind of chart the things that you notice either in your life or in your outer world, through the news cycles or through things happening in your own community, to get a sort of look at what might be, coming up next as we begin the move into 2025. Certainly an interesting year in and of itself. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. I sure did. We 19 people for dinner on Christmas Eve. A lot of them children, so we had a lot of presents, and it was just so fun. It's sort of a magical thing when you have your children are grown and you're looking back, watching them with their children, and watching your grandchildren, in other words. And yeah, it was a special day. So let's see. Good morning to Julie. I see you out there this morning. She's seeing her best female friend over the weekend, whom she's working on a creative project with. So good luck with that. Diana, good morning to you. Terry, good morning. Tom says happy betwixt between tomorrow, the 28th December, Astro Design family. I'm not sure. I think you mean betwixt Christmas and New Year's. We'll see. Teddy Hickox, good morning. Bye 2024. Wish I could have you back. Colleen, good morning to you. Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel, hello. Happy last Friday 2024. And hit that like button, please. Thank you for that reminder. Jaman, good morning to you. And anybody else out there listening that I can't see as far as having made contact. Now, let's start, shall we? We have a lot to talk about. And one of the things that has been happening for a couple of different years now, since like 2022, has been this idea of the USA Pluto return. Now, I know some of you aren't from the USA and probably could care less, but your country may be having a Pluto return at some point in the future. And anytime there is a Pluto return for a country, and besides that, it can really only be for a country or an organization, because a Pluto return implies that you've been around for 248 years, right? People don't live that long, so people don't have Pluto returns. So this is something that happens on a societal level or a cultural level. And that makes it huge, right? Some countries like England have lived through, I want to say it's 3 Pluto returns. and maybe more, right? If you go way back in history. The other countries around the world likely have also gone through China, Russia, different variations on their own Pluto returns. And of course, all of that is dependent on the chart you're using for a country. So for us in the USA, we use the USA Sibley chart, which is a chart that is set for July 4th, 1776. I want to say it's at 5:10 p.m. And when you look at that chart, the USA Pluto is sitting at the 27th degree of Capricorn. And you guys are all thinking, yeah, but Pluto's in Aquarius now. So what up? Well, there are two different charts that we can use. One would be the non-precessed chart. A non-precessed chart means it's not corrected for the drift in the background of the stars over the 248 years, right? We're just looking at it as purely right now. Pluto's at just about 1 degree of Aquarius, so that is moving away from the USA Pluto at 27 Capricorn. But in a precessed chart, we move if we think of the whole of the cosmos, the planets, the stars, the whole background of the cosmos precesses moves against the backdrop, right? 1 degree every 72 years. So if you divide a Pluto return, 248 years, by by the wait, hold on, let me think this through. When you divide 248 years by 72, because 1 degree for every 72 years, so we are 3.44 degrees or so precessed, meaning we have to kind of add that 3.44 degrees. So if Pluto was at 27 degrees, let me show you a picture here, see if I could share my screen and make it easier for you to understand this. Um, 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 There we go. So let's see. Hopefully you are seeing this chart now. So here, if you look down here, this is in yellow, this is where Pluto was when the USA was born. And I've made this bigger, but you can see that it's set for July 4th, 1776, 5:13 p.m. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And that's where Pluto was at that moment, 27 degrees, 27.33 degrees of Capricorn. Now, this blue line that I've put in here is where the USA Pluto is at this moment of its precession, right? So corrected, if you will, for the timing. And that puts it at 1 degree, some minutes of Aquarius. And in this, you might also remember that this is where Pluto is sitting right now by transit in the regular tropical astrology chart. So not only is this something that the USA is going through at this moment, it is also something against the backdrop of the entire world. So it is a USA Pluto return, but it is impacting the whole of the world because we're all in this together, right? So it's a really interesting thing to look at. And the final USA Pluto return date is December 30th of 2024. So coming up this Monday at the new moon. So it is one of those things that we have to call attention to, right? Because we would have thought if we are just using the regular tropical zodiac that we were done with that, but we are not. And I'm just going to kind of run down like a quick summary of the things that have been going on with this Pluto return. But there's also an excellent, excellent article on astro.com by Ray Grasse, Grasse. if you're so inclined to read into the depths. It's a long article. It's got some astro speak in it, but I think, most people could get it. It is well worth the read because it elicits so much understanding about where we are in time and about what has been happening. So some of the key themes of a Pluto return in any country is going to be about transformation and about power struggles. And Pluto's energy brings this kind of profound transformation. It's the death and rebirth piece, right? It's renewal, and it's forcing the USA in this time period to confront its past and then to reshape its future. And any country going through a Pluto return is forced to do this same thing. And the key themes, because of the Pluto return in Capricorn initially, and then now, as we look at it, the Pluto return precessed in Aquarius, it's been including systemic upheaval, political polarization, and societal reflection on what our national values are. That is such a Plutoan theme, right? And it has bred civil unrest and social divisions. That is totally in keeping with the Pluto return. Pluto's, return kind of heightens the January 6th insurrection, right? The social unrest of immigration, of abortion, and racial inequality. And it has been behind the scenes in the resurgence of movements like Black Lives Matter. And it whether, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, I'm just showing you these are the things that are being reflected to us outside that tell us in the USA that not all is right? That things have to change. There was economic collapse and recovery. The pandemic driven economic downturn uh, highlighted the need for us as citizens of a country to become resilient, to become self sufficient, right? And despite the early devastation in the economy rebounded faster, showcasing Pluto's whole death and rebirth thing, right? It was this fast turnaround. Now, that led to inflation and other economic woes, but we skated through the recession during that period of time. Now, Pluto's transformative power also reveals hidden truths. So, corruptions and scandals began to be exposed, previous to this point and including this to this day, even scandals involving prominent figures, right? And the shadowy ugliness that is being exposed, right? Pedophiles and sex scandals and all kinds of different clandestine type things being exposed because Pluto is a dredge. He's going to dredge it all up. Environmental challenges, especially things like the Keystone Pipeline. That was one of the earlier expressions of the USA Pluto return, and wildfires, the height of summer in around the world. This was not just the USA, but the height of, summer bringing fires everywhere. And Pluto also has an association with toxins and with destruction. So there you have that, right? The destruction of our environment and the recognition that we have to take better care as we move forward of our environment. And it kind of underscores the urgency of addressing ecological damage. And if we don't, what does that mean? Where does that lead us? It is the rise of marginalized voices, which we've talked about a lot already because of Pluto's move, generally speaking, into Aquarius. But Pluto's energy supports the emergence of suppressed groups. So, increased representation of Black and Indigenous peoples and their plights and their histories, and how, in the USA, how our westward expansion uh, impacted all of that. Then there are milestones like Ketanji Brown being nominated as a Supreme Court justice, a Black woman and partly Asian woman running for president at what being the vice president and then running for president. So there's glimmers of things to come. right, as we are moving through this period of time. But by far and away, this is about confronting the nation's shadows, any nation, but in this case, since we're talking the USA Pluto return, we're grappling with the history of inequality, with systemic racism, and with power imbalances, the wealthy versus the 99% versus the 1%, right? And Pluto pushes for acknowledgement first and then healing of these shadow energies in order for a nation or a group or community or whatever to evolve, right? You have to acknowledge, then you have to heal. So the Pluto return offers us this huge opportunity for rebirth. It's almost not like you have a choice. It's happening. And with grassroots activism, likely because of its placement now, its precessed placement, plus its transit placement in Aquarius, and structural reform. And it paves the way for transforming our national identity. And of course, we only have just scratched the surface of this. We don't know for sure what direction things are headed. So the takeaway is that there's this pivotal moment, at least as the nation is concerned, that challenges us to address these shadow things that are coming up to the surface. But it also offers us the potential for this profound transformation. And as with any Pluto cycle, it the outcome of the cycle really depends on how willing we are to confront and heal any of the deep-seated issues in any country, right? And that will sort of decide at some point here how the USA survives as a democracy or does it survive as a democracy. It's really huge. And again, because we offer Pluto almost 15 degrees of orb, meaning, 15 degree on either side of the exact day of an aspect with him, because he is so transformational, right? So December 30th is the last exact day of Pluto conjunct the national USA Pluto. But the story isn't done. It's not finished being written, and that won't be for several years yet, right? So it's unfolding. And you and I all get to participate in this, right? We're participating in this particular transformation. We may be going kicking and screaming into some of it, but if we refuse to address the issues, there's where the bigger problems will be. So be willing, be open, and confront your own shadows, right? Your own shadows are, also being displayed, right? The outer world showing you where your own shadows are. And let's move through this with grace and with ease, right? Words that we don't normally associate with Pluto, but okay, we're going to associate them with Pluto. All right. Good morning to those of you who have checked in. Asa, Soul Strategy Therapy Narges, good morning. And TD Hawk, it's good to see you with us today. Now, I want to talk about the only transit besides the Pluto and new moon that is happening during this weekend, and that happens to be Venus square Uranus. And Venus is in Aquarius right now. So she's got on this, kind of innovative flair, and she's looking to the future, and she's building upon, the ideas of what could be, what's possible, right? And in a square to Uranus, right? A square is a 90-degree relationship between the two planets, and a square is sometimes filled with tension, right? There's this scritchiness about the energy between Venus, the goddess of love and harmony and beauty, and Uranus, that is all about change and transformation in lightning fast ways, right? He liberates. That's a better word. He awakens something within us. So there's an energy around today and even into the weekend that is sort of an unpredictability about it, or has an unpredictability about it. It's disruption energy anytime we have Uranus involved. And it's particularly disruptive to, in this case, relationships, finances, and our values. And Venus, in an aspect to Uranus, actually challenges us to upset the established norms and invites us to embrace change, even if it feels uncomfortable. And that's playing out again in finances and in relationships and in innovation and change in the main, right? This is the energy of change. So if we look at it in disruptions to our relationships, Uranus kind of shakes up those Venus themes of love and connection, and that pushes us to reconsider outdated relationship dynamics and attachments. Right? Are we in, are we in the right relationships? Are the relationships built on something of value, of worth? And there may be unexpected changes and revelations that really demand that we remain open and adaptable to whatever it is that is changing in that landscape. But there's a huge opportunity here as well because a square puts this kind of pressure on us to change, right? Or to move through something, to dare maybe to be pushed out of our comfort zones. And so there's a chance here for us to release any rigid expectations that we have in our relationships and to allow ourselves to embrace more authenticity and freedom, even within the context of a relationship. And it can be a great time to explore new relationships or unconventional approaches to love, if you will, or unconventional approaches to finances and to your values. So, the reflection question perhaps might be for this particular weekend: how can I create space for greater freedom and individuality within my relationships? And that can be within your person to person relationships, into your person to group relationships, or in the idea of finances, so more about financial freedom and liberating yourself from debt, perhaps, but also, in how you value yourself and how others are seen to value you, right? Are you, again, around the right people? Is it the right relationship? Now, let's look at it through financial instability and innovation. The theme of Uranus and Taurus has really challenged us financially, right? Had this economic up and down during this period of time. We've had the emergence and maybe even, the more public view of new currencies, cryptocurrencies. We've seen the rise of other nations grouping together as economic powerhouses. So there's been a lot going on that has contributed to financial challenges. But now, when we're looking at this one with Venus, Venus is a personal planet. So it might more appropriately be the impact on you as an individual in the context of this bigger financial picture. So it kind of asks us to rethink how we manage and value resources, both in the big picture, but also as individuals. There could be sudden financial shifts, maybe insights into how to align finances with long term goals. And I'm thinking right now of like Bitcoin that has, had this meteoric rise over the last few weeks. I don't know if you guys watch that or not, but I own some Bitcoin. So I'm always watching to see, where's it going? And it went up over, it was 107,000, I think, at one point in time. Well, I was an early adopter of that cryptocurrency. This has to have been more like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, when it was under $30, right? And now you're looking at $107,000. It's just crazy. So the opportunity, right, is for us to be innovative in how we approach finances or how we handle money, and maybe exploring alternative investments. If you haven't been an adopter of cryptocurrencies, maybe this is the time. Maybe in the bigger picture, we have, governments that are looking at centralized crypto digital currencies, right? The central banks and so forth. I'm not sure that this is good or bad. So by the way, I don't hold an opinion here on this. I'm just stating the obvious that innovation is coming to the money markets, whether that means crypto, whether that means a change in the standard that we use for money in the world. Right now, the dollar is the standard. Does that change, right? And how does that look? So there's a lot going on that's possible, and of course, it all impacts us as individuals. So my advice here would be to do things financially that set you up for the long term, right? So that might mean, investing wisely. It might mean paying down debt. It could mean a lot of different things. So it's going to be unique to you. So, what innovative strategies can you adopt to create more financial freedom and also more financial stability, right? We want to be stable, but we also don't want to get so stable and so stuck and so rigid that we don't see what's right in front of us, what the potential is for where we're going next. So there's that. Uh, we're also with this Venus square Uranus. We want to break free from the norm. I feel it inside all the time, it seems like. So I'm wondering if there's this bigger need to break free, right? Venus in Aquarius values independence, while Uranus in Taurus disrupts comfort zones. So you guys, you should be able to see the handwriting on the wall here, right? Together, those two planets are pushing us to embrace authenticity and to challenge either societal or self-imposed rules that we hold about all things Venus at this point: beauty, love, material values, finances, relationships, harmony and peace. How do we value peace or not? Right? Those kinds of things. So the opportunity is to use this energy again to break free from limiting beliefs that we hold and routines that we've gotten caught up in. So it's a chance to realign your personal truth, right? Even if it defies convention, right? This is a time where the unconventional, the untried, and the unproven holds more weight than staying stuck in the old paradigm. So ask yourself, where are you holding on to outdated beliefs or outdated habits that no longer serve you? Right? That's a good question. So the opportunity of the square is to embrace freedom, right? This idea, giving yourself and others space to explore their individuality within relationships, your own individuality within the context of your relationships. Innovate financially, right? Experiment with new ways of handling resources, whether adopting some new sustainable practice with your finances or integrating technology into your financial picture. Be open to change. Again, this is like almost ad nauseum anymore. Right? This drumbeat. Be willing to change. Uranus demands flexibility and adaptability and openness. It demands you to be pushed out of, or you to push out of your comfort zone or else be pushed outside of that. So welcome any unexpected opportunities for growth, right? There are challenges to navigate for certain, right? Emotional instability, because sudden shifts in finances or in relationships can feel very unsettling. So practice mindfulness maybe to help you navigate any of the big changes occurring in your own life. There could be miscommunication in our relationships that can lead to conflicts. Resistance to change within relationships could cause friction. So have sensitive conversations with the people that might be impacted by, um, your in your relationships or in your finances. People can sometimes overreact to change. Uranus can amplify impulsivity. Ensure your decisions are thoughtful. Use your human design type and strategy and authority to make sure you're making the best um, decisions for you and that you are in a responsible, right? Responsive mode rather than reactionary. So this transit really offers us an opportunity to break free from what is no longer working and to realign ourselves with our unique point of view, with our unique value. So there we have, right? This is a big transit And it is one that I think is a very important one in the larger context of the things that are going on in this world. Okay, now let's go to the new moon. First, I want to say good morning to J Lo. It's good to see you, J Lo. She says, have to listen from the start. What is so interesting, I've been really sleepy and starting at sunset, I fall asleep. If I fight the sleep, I get really hungry. Well, that's kind of funny because I've also been not fighting the hungry thing, but um, being tired, like well before bedtime, because it gets dark so early, I think, is part of it. And falling asleep and then waking up, then going to bed and then not being able to fall asleep. And I mean, the last 2 nights I've been awake until possibly, I don't know, past midnight, and then waking up and going, "Oh, hey, I didn't go to sleep until whatever time." So I think there's something in the air, right? All of these energies build on one another and can be, a reason why, we're feeling a little out of sorts. Okay, next, the new moon. So we're going to look at the new moon here in a couple of different ways. So the new moon happens on Monday at 9:44 of Capricorn, 9.44. I did have the chart here of that new moon. Pray tell, what did I do with it? Um, oh, it's in this book. So the new moon occurs at 5:28 p.m. in Washington D.C. So that is East Coast time. That will make it 1:20 or 2:28 p.m. on the West Coast. And like I said, at 9 degrees, 44 minutes of the sign of Capricornia. We're going to look at it through the reimagined Capricorn today. And that also means that this is happening just as the human design week changes. So I had to go actually into my book of lines to get a clear read on exactly where 9.44 degrees of Capricorn is. Because literally, through the 30th, we have the sun at the gate 58, the gate of joy. But 9.44 Capricorn tells a different tale. It puts it at the gate 38, the gate of struggle. Interesting, right? So we're moving out of joy and into struggle from 58 to 38, both on the root center. And I thought it was worth it to take a look at what it meant through human design as well as the astrology of that. And then also through the gene keys, because it gives us this little, deeper view of what's happening. So, in the context then of reimagining Capricorn into Capricornia, which means that we're embracing the feminine qualities of Capricorn as a naturally feminine sign. And that is about nurturing leadership, intuitive structure building, and then harmonizing with the natural rhythms and cycles that we find ourselves in. And this a new moon is always about the ability we have to set intentions. So, how do we want to use this new moon energy? And how does that help us manifest the things that we want to create in our lives? And we have opportunities then with this in Capricornia for redefinition, for alignment, and for grounded new beginnings, right? Grounded because this is an earth sign. So, the first thing with the new moon that comes up for me is about reimagining leadership and authority. And the opportunity is that the new moon invites us to embrace a leadership style that's rooted in wisdom, in care, and collaboration rather than dominance and hierarchy. Again, this is a push to a new structure, a new form of government, a new way of being, right? A new leadership style. And it's a time for us to consider how can we lead our own lives or our communities, if you're a community leader, with integrity and inclusivity. If only, right? If only our leaders were listening to this. The action steps: set intentions for redefining your personal sense of authority, redefining how you show up in your world. How can you step into leadership roles that serve the collective and honor emotional and intuitive wisdom, not rather than just the self? Um, in Capricornia, a new moon helping us to ground ambitions in intuition. So the opportunity suggests that we have a balance between structured ambition and intuitive flow. Can you feel the difference there? Structured ambition. That is this I must do one, then two, then three, and then boom, I've got the end versus intuitive flow that says, maybe I need to, do this little divergence over here and come back. The new moon encourages us to plant the seeds for goals that align with both your practical needs and your soul's calling. Not just the limited viewpoint being given to all of us by our society or culture that we live in. So meditate on your long-term goals with this new moon. Ask, do these honor my authentic self and my community? And then adjust your intentions to build structures that support sustainable growth. Sustainability. This is a huge part of the Capricorn and Capricornia experience. Harmonize yourself with the natural rhythms. The sign of Capricornia as a feminine archetype emphasizes living in harmony with the natural cycles, right? The new moon is a perfect time to set the intention. First of all, pause and maybe sync up yourself with the seasonal and the cosmic energies that are available right now. And then, maybe planting metaphorical or maybe actual seeds for the year ahead. Um, but that are based in, intuition as opposed to I have to, right? Or being very goal oriented. This is a great time to set intentions to heal your relationship with work and success. So, Capricornia challenges us to reimagine success not as endless striving, but as a meaningful contribution and fulfillment, right? Making a fulfilling contribution. The new moon can catalyze a shift, defining success in ways that honor well being and interconnectedness, not just chewing up and spitting out the resources, right? Not just production, 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 but production with a purpose, right? With a sustainable goal in mind. So reflect on your work life balance and how it supports or hinders your sense of purpose, right? All work and no play kind of thing, and set intentions to create work environments or work projects that nourish your soul, not the ones that, take you down some rabbit hole of despair, but something that makes you feel alive. This is a great time to strengthen our communities or foundations of our communities because Capricornia's energy blends personal accountability with collective responsibility. Remember that that's a difference than what Capricorn really has been traditionally associated with. So, this new moon highlights the importance of laying strong foundations for community structures that support everyone, right? Not just one end of the spectrum or the other, but that supports everyone. And I'm not saying these things are easy either, right? These are big, big, big topics. Maybe focus on collaboration and community goals, the things that we can together as a community create. And how can you contribute to building a network of people, a network that uplifts and supports others while staying true to your own value, right? So basically, the new moon in Capricornia, through the lens of Capricornia, offers us opportunities for balanced leadership, for grounded intentions, grounded with an eye towards sustainable growth. So redefine what ambition means for you. Harmonize with the natural cycles that we are a part of, that we have forgotten that we are a part of, and then commit to goals that really honor both personal and collective well being. This is our opportunity to pivot toward being more concerned with well being than production, right? With money, with greed, right? So it's huge time if we think about it. Questions about that? Bum. Tired and needing sleep, Tom says, is related to the light coming in. K index is really low since Christmas Day. Uh, yeah. That's a whole nother subject we could get into, right? So the new moon in the gate 38. So the 38 is on the root center and it moves towards the 28, which is on the spleen center. So the root center, these are energies that, format the uh, adventure, right? The journey of our lives. And the gate 38 is all about struggle. And it's deeply resonant with themes of transformation through challenges. We've heard the saying, choose your battles wisely. That kind of energy is about the 38, right? It's about persevering through the tough times because we've chosen what to struggle through or what the fight is for us, right? That we chose the battle, right? Because it is in alignment with ourselves and with our goals and with our dreams. And it emphasizes here this pressure that we feel because the root center is a pressure center. It's the pressure to go out and do, to go out and feel, to go out and create, right? So it's a big energy. And it's also pressure to find meaning and purpose, right? There's meaning and purpose, especially as 38 runs over to the 28, which is the gate of the struggle to find meaning. Meaning and purposelessness are linked together at the gate 28. And then when we interpret this new moon through the gene keys, the new moon becomes an opportunity to transmute the shadow of struggle into the gift of perseverance. And in the city, it becomes honor. So we have some things to unpack here with all of this. So the themes and opportunities of the gate 38. Let's talk about that first. So first of all, it's the shadow of struggle and or fight. Some in quantum in traditional human design, this was called the gate of fight, right? And struggle is a part of this fight. So at the shadow level, if you will, of the gate 38 or the gene key 38, gate 38 struggles against meaninglessness. It can feel like life is an uphill battle with no clear reward. The opportunity here with the new moon is an invitation to reflect on areas where struggle feels unproductive or overwhelming. And it encourages you to discern between battles worth fighting and those that drain your energy. Meaning, if those battles drain your energy, they're not the ones that are worth staying with or persevering through. Okay. So ask yourself this question: am I engaging in struggles that align with my higher purpose, or am I resisting growth by clinging to unnecessary battles? Right? This is a great question for all human beings because we do have a tendency to dig in and stick with something. And that's okay if it's the right thing, if it's worth fighting for. But if it was something that was thrust upon you or that you thought you had to fight for because that's what everybody else says that you should be fighting for, then there's a disconnect and it might not be worth that time that you're putting in there. In the gift of perseverance, we have determination with purpose, right? The theme here is that perseverance transforms struggle into meaningful action. Like, let me say that again. Perseverance transforms struggle into meaningful action. So it's about standing strong and moving forward with clarity and focus, knowing the challenges you face serve a higher goal. There's a higher purpose behind it all. And the new moon in this asks us to set intentions for cultivating resilience and determination in the face of life's challenges. And it's time to reframe your struggles. That's a biggie, right? Reframing your struggles as stepping stones toward something greater, right? Um, that everything is working to your good. And an action step that you can take here is about identifying one area in your life where persistence will lead to long term success. If you stick with it, it's going to pay off in big ways. Commit to showing up for this purpose, even when the road feels steep, because it will at times, right? That's part of the struggle. In the city of honor, the ultimate grace that's in struggle, kind of within it. And at its highest expression, the gate 38 or the gene key 38 honors the sacred nature of struggle as it understands that all challenges are opportunities for growth. And there's a deep connection to life's purpose, right? We all came here to grow and evolve, which implies struggle, right? It implies um, this need to, keep up with perseverance and so forth. But suffering is not a part of this. Suffering is optional, as Karen Curry Parker used to say. She'd say, struggle is real, but suffering is optional. So you have a life purpose, and that life purpose is uniquely yours. And part of that will contain struggle. It's just the way it is. But the new moon here provides us this opportunity to honor the challenges that have shaped us. And it asks you to reflect on how these struggles have guided you toward inner strength and inner alignment, and an alignment with your soul's mission. Or are you aligned with your soul's mission, right? That can be another question. And the meditation on this could be, how can I honor the struggles that have brought me here? And what lessons have I gained from these experiences? Because you've learned from your experiences, even the struggles, right? Even the things that blew up spectacularly in your life, you gained wisdom from it. Now, the Capricornian influence here, or the Capricornia influence here, adds structure and grounding to the energy of gate 38. It encourages you to create practical systems for overcoming any of the challenges while staying aligned with your purpose. Your purpose, right? Staying aligned. So, how can you go through this? Well, one thing you can do is define clear goals that bring meaning to persevering, right? That give you the opportunity for resilience. Use Capricornia's discipline energy to navigate struggles with patience and with grace. And then build long term stability through lessons learned from your challenges, right? Even if you have to write them all down, this is challenging, but what am I learning from this challenge? So, this new moon is power punch, right? It's packed with power. Um, Maybe you can set an intention for perseverance, right? I persevere with grace and honor in the face of challenges, something like that. Um, Trusting that those challenges are guiding you to your soul's mission or to the completion of your soul's mission. So it's a powerful time, this new moon, to find deeper meaning in challenges and then align with your purpose and honor the sacred path of your experiences because they are all uniquely you. All right. Questions. That is all I had for you this morning, actually. Questions would be something that we could deal with. I'm going to do a card reading for us. Uh, Monday, we're going to be taking a look ahead at January uh, and taking a look at how does 2025 look like it's going to begin, even though from my estimation, 2025 begins on March 21st with the spring equinox. What do these next couple of months show us, and specifically January? On Monday, we'll talk about that. And that's why I'm talking about the new moon today, because on Monday, it is that look ahead to the month of January. All right. How's everybody doing out there? You're quiet this morning, right? I'm watching numbers that are going down, 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 like coming and going. So I think a lot of people are feeling the sleepies this morning too, or are just lagging energetically. So I think I'm going to pull first. Actually, what's the time? If a couple of you would like me to pull a specific card for you, I would be happy to do that too. I can probably do two. And first of all, I'm pulling a card from Cultivating Compassion, simple everyday practices for discovering peace of mind and resilience. These are beautiful cards. and I love their messages. Ooh, and we pull raccoon, the raccoon. Isn't that a beautiful card? And it says, the card number's 48, effortlessness. When I choose to do simple things, life is not so difficult. All right, let's take a read here about 48s. And simplicity is good. Do simple things and life will not be so difficult. So, cultivating a meditation practice doesn't always have to be hard work. Growing as an individual doesn't always have to be a struggle. That's funny. Tremendous value and benefit are found in doing simple things. One way to help your mind, body, and heart feel better is to go outside. Get some fresh air. Get a bit of sunshine or breeze or gentle rain on your face. Connect with something that is growing. Take a walk. Whether you live near a park, a forest, the water, or in the city, look for something green and alive. Listen to the birds. Notice the temperature and the humidity. Embrace the simplicity of this idea. Here's a question for self reflection. What is my favorite way to connect with nature? How can I connect with nature daily? And how does my body feel when I do? And then here's an informal practice. At the end of the day, before drifting to sleep, I will recall the simplest thing I did today and appreciate the ease of that task or that conversation. So here we go. Effortlessness in the raccoon. Okay, let's see. I see things popping up here. JLo would love a dragon. Very good, JLo. Let's do that. And gotta find my dragons. I need a new way to hold my cards. I'm just gathering so many of them these days. I forgot I have star seeds. Oh my goodness. Angels, Pleiadian cards. Um, there's the dragons. Okay. And this will be for you, JLo. Oh, that jumped out. And it is the Omega Dragon, harnesses the divine feminine power of creation and its intention. Hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. Look at that. She's a beautiful dragon. And there's just something really that calls you in with that dragon. So let's see what the Omega Dragon, I don't think we've ever pulled this one either. And Omega is a ninth dimensional dragon. Ooh, way up there. Okay. Ninth dimensional Omega dragons carry the divine feminine vibrations of Shekinah, the universal energy that created our world. Shekinah is the feminine counterpart of Archangel Metatron's higher light and represents pure creative vision. These powerful beings are assisting the birth of higher consciousness on Earth. Collectively, they hold the vision for the new golden age, and this will enable us to achieve the intention set by Lady Gaia for the evolution of this planet. These beautiful silver white dragons will also help us hold a personal vision for the highest good. Every wish starts with a thought that is translated into picture. These dragons can see into our mind and will hold our vision with us. Here's your guidance, JLo. When an Omega dragon comes to you, it is time to give birth to a special new project, pathway, or aspect of yourself that has remained hidden. Call upon these dragons to fill you with the power of the divine feminine. This will enable you to hold your vision and bring it to fruition in a wise, balanced, and harmonious way. Most important of all, ask the Omega Dragon to look into the greatest desire of your soul and hold the vision of bringing it into manifestation. These dragons can be any shape or size, so just still your mind and give them permission to merge with your energy. Ask them to soften your path and the paths of all who hold the vision of a new golden age. There you go. The Omega Dragon. I think that's a very awesome dragon to have. Okay, J-Lo. And Year of the Dragon to, I think, the snake. Yep, it is definitely that, right? We transform from the dragon into the snake. So it feels like there's a shedding, right, that will occur for 2025. Colleen, YouTube is easier when I'm working. Okay. Tom, I would love a Pleiadian card, please. I could have guessed that that's what you wanted. And the Pleiadians. Let's see what kind of message they have here. And TD Hawk, I'll do your card next. Whoa. Tom, manifestation, rainbow body, card number 12. You are manifesting your future self in the form of your rainbow body. So that's what your card looks like. Manifestation of the rainbow body. Oh, it says manifestation. Oh, that's right. These are in categories. Okay, so here's your card. Manifestation is not only about manifesting things here in the third dimension. As you grow, change, and evolve, you are beginning to manifest multidimensionally. You are now able to change and manifest a higher form that will contain the consciousness of who you are becoming. You are not a static, solid form in your physical body as you may perceive yourself to be here in this third dimension. You are instead a greater consciousness that is expanding out of your third dimensional physical body into multidimensionality. You are now in the position to manifest a new form of this higher awakening consciousness into which you are evolving as your future self. This manifestation requires that you surrender all old third dimensional thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and actions and raise your consciousness to the frequency that sustains universal and unconditional love. Remember, part of your past, your galactic past, is the planetary system Hadar, all about unconditional love. And that is also your soul's gift, right? Unconditional love, Tom. Every choice you make, conscious or unconscious, enhances or detracts from the process of evolution and manifesting your future self as a new human. You have the choice to merge your changing physical body with your light etheric body to create what we call a rainbow body. This form will be this form will be not only lighter, but also more fluid and flexible, offering you more freedom for your consciousness to grow and expand. You are becoming more crystalline, which means you carry more light. The rainbow body has prisms of light that reflect the brilliance of who you are in different colors of the rainbow, reflecting your light out into the world. Your manifestation at this time is primarily focused upon your moving into this rainbow body form, a different version of your previously understood physical self, and that's containing your evolution of or evolving conscious awareness. Manifesting a rainbow body will be your most advanced and successful manifestation. And this is Universal Energy 12, which is about understanding. When you understand the manifestation that you are creating through conscious choices to move into the rainbow body, you will come to fully understand the reality in which you will participate as your future self. Whew, that is a huge, huge card, huge message. All right, that's Tom. All right. Awesome, JLo. Let's see. TD Hawk would love a card, whatever you are drawn to. Okay, so let me think about this for a second for you, TD. Tamara. Um, I'm going to pull you an Intuitive Whispers Oracle. Intuitive Whispers. On the inside of the box, it says, "You are wiser and more brilliant than you know. Be still. Take a breath and listen. Your intuitive whispers are guiding you." That's what it says in the lid. Okay, so let's do this. That's the book. And then this will have to be the last one for today. Yes, Tom, it's heavy. Do you have that deck, Tom? I hope you do. So if you do, look up 12 manifesting. All right. So for Miss Tamara, the power of silence. This is a beautiful card. Interesting colors, right? Lots of reds and pinks, some purpley colors. And it's card number 3, the power of silence. So let's see what this is about. All right, it says, how often are you in silence, existing in a place without the distraction of music, screens, work, or people? There is a deep internal power that can only be accessed from that silence. This is your intuition. It is always there, but it takes the discipline of consistent practice to become comfortable enough to, or in the comfortable enough in the silence to hear it. If you're reading this card, take this as your first whisper to reconnect to the silence and listen. At first, it might sound loud. The mind will try to find any way to distract you, creating to do lists and replaying events, but you must persevere. At the other side of that chatter is a powerful silence, and from within that stillness, your inner confidence will begin to come through. How to access the power of silence. This is literally your to do list here. Close your eyes and listen. Tune in to every sound you can hear, both far away and close by. Don't get caught up in the sounds, just notice them. Then bring your awareness to the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Whenever your mind wanders, which it inevitably will, simply invite your awareness back to your breathing. Now, move your awareness to the space between the breaths, the silence at the end of the inhale and the silence at the end of the exhale. And then lastly, let yourself drift into these silences and listen. Interesting because we're still in the week where the earth is in the gate 52, stillness. So the power of silence is the card for you. All right. That is it for me today, guys. I will see you on Monday. And I wish you all a happy weekend. See you on Monday.